Hi, everybody, and welcome. I am Aleeza Ben Shalom with Marriage Minded Mentor, and we are thrilled to be here with you. This is Sarah Zoldan. Hello, Sarah. Sarah is our webinar friend guru. She's just like the magnificent Sarah behind the scenes. If you're typing, just put yourself on mute, Sarah. And I love you. We are so excited to be here. We are talking about getting friend zoned, the friend zone frenzy. Who likes getting friend zoned? You're like, I like you. I mean, I like you, not just like as a friend. Why do you think I'm like only worthy of being a friend? What's wrong with you? Why would you think that? Because I like you. So we need to discuss this, but first we need to discuss our sponsor, Jessica Fast of Fast Pass to Love. Woohoo! She is an international award-winning matchmaker. She's been recognized in Tel Aviv, in LA. She's all over the map. She has clients from all over, and I know because every time she gets her VIP clients, they all have sessions with me because I'm her secret sauce. And she is the secret sauce to Fast Pass to Love. She works as a matchmaker. She has an entire team that she's working with. We collaborate on events and do phenomenal things. And at the end of this webinar, you will hear from her for a little bit. So thank you, Jess, for sponsoring the webinar. We love you, and we're so glad you guys are all here. If you are a new friend, welcome. Thanks for joining us. If this is your first webinar, this is almost our 30th webinar, which we are crazy excited about. Since the beginning of the pandemic, we started doing webinars, and it was just important because people needed chizuk, they needed support, they needed wisdom, they needed inspiration, they needed virtual dating, and they needed guidance for the road. And that's what we're here for. And we want to offer it to everybody. So we've been offering free webinars, which gives us tremendous, tremendous joy. And we're so glad you're here with us. So here we go. Are you ready? I've got all my notes. Okay, friend zoning. So how to stop being in the friend zone and how to stop friend zoning others. We're going to talk about both because I'm sure that you yourself are in the friend zone sometimes and you yourself put somebody in the friend zone. So let's talk about it. You know, like checking them into the friend zone. Why do you check somebody into the friend zone? You do that because you don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to hurt them. Maybe you even like them. Maybe you need them as a friend, like them and need them as a friend because like, you're an awesome human being. And if I like ruin it by saying, I like you, or do you like me, or let's make something of it, then I might lose the relationship that we have. So you might check somebody into that friend zone box. Why might you or they check you into a friend zone box? Attraction. Like, I like you. You're an awesome human being, but like, oh, that look, it's just like, well, I mean, I like you as a friend. Like, I just don't want to wake up next to you every morning. Some people might do it for that reason, but which, by the way, friend zone looks can change. So just be careful. If you stay friends with somebody, even if they are in the friend zone or if you are in the friend zone, looks can change and somebody might actually come to like you on the outside and the inside. Now you might be thinking, but I don't want them to come to like me. I want them to just like me from the beginning. I can't help you with that. It doesn't always happen first time around. So sometimes it takes time later and then they come around to liking you and being more connected with you. And that feels really good to them. Okay. Why else might you be put in the friend zone and what can you do about it? So I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas and tips and tools. You're going to think about it. Actually, wait a minute. Anybody who is live with us right now, why might you get put in the friend zone or why might you put somebody in the friend zone? Could you please tell me? And then Sarah's going to read it out for us. Throw that in the chat box because you guys actually know the answer to this. And anybody who's watching on replay, you can also answer this. Why are people putting you in the friend zone and why are you doing it to them? And then if you evaluate those reasons, which we're going to do here tonight together, then you'll come up with the answers of how to avoid the friend zone. So that's the story. Okay.
We're not getting a whole lot of answers coming in, but we all know it's happening. So if you don't want to send it to all attendees, this one you can send to panelists only. I won't call you out by name. All right, we got, they do not do it to me. I choose not to have male friendships. Lisa likes that answer. They're emotionally unavailable. I am, or they are, I guess. Mm-hmm. I friend zone people because it's easier than putting yourself out there with vulnerability and stuff. Clinginess, okay for chuppah, not okay for yichud room.
What does that mean? Okay for chuppah, not okay for yichud room.
I mean, if I had to interpret that, that means like
Yeah.
they're a good friend, but I'm not attracted to them.
But why would it be okay for chuppah? It's not okay for chuppah.
Like in theory, we would get along.
In theory, we would. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
If you were, yeah, interpreted correctly. I feel you. If you're not interested in someone, stop saying to someone, "Can we just be friends?" It is obnoxiously offensive and manipulative. I feel like Lisa's
Okay.
going to talk about that. If she wasn't, she will now. I can put a guy in the friend zone if they don't have the attributes I'm looking for in a long-term partner. If you like their personality but not attracted to their physical features.
Right. So in general, what I find as we're talking about these things, when you like the inside, because we usually like the inside of friends, but it's sometimes not the outside look that we want, that can happen. There are times where you're like, well, I'll keep you as a friend. Like you're decent on the inside, like you're okay, but you're not good enough to be my spouse. Right. So I might be okay with you being my friend, although I might not call you at 3 o'clock in the morning in an emergency, but I'm not okay with you being my partner for a lifetime. So it's not necessarily looks and it's not necessarily values and who you are. It sometimes can be a combination of both of those things. So values, attributes. Okay, so what I want to talk about now for a few minutes is what can you do to get out of the friend zone? So anybody who's live with us, you can put that in the comments below. What ideas do you have? And in the meantime, while you're writing those in, I'm going to tell you what ideas I have. So first of all, number one, you could start flirting. Okay, that means you're friends, but you can be like, you want to grab dinner on Tuesday, late night, we'll go to our favorite spot, like make it sound a little bit more than friendly. Just like throw a little something out there. You can be a little bit playful. You could be like, oh, if your date doesn't work out Saturday night, don't worry, we can go out on Sunday. Like playful, friendly. You're just teasing them as a friend, and if they're like, oh, you mean like really us dating? And you could, if you don't want to like go all in and be like, yeah, of course, like why not, you could just be like, ha, 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 wouldn't that be funny, or wouldn't that be cute, or hey, we're good friends, it probably would work, right? You can dip your pinky toe in the water, you can test it out, you can tease it out, you can do anything you want with it, but the goal is to try it on for size and see their reaction. So if their reaction is like, what? No, I mean, we're just friends, I would never. You're like, okay, we're just friends. Got it. Right. And even though they say never, if you still remain friends, you should always know, men, ladies, if you remain friends, your friend could sometimes become more than a friend. Why? Because people that we're close to, that we like in our life, that we value, that we have around, and they stick around, we become closer with them. And so if you never, ever, ever want to marry this person, you should be very careful about being friends with them, because sometimes, oops, you actually start to fall for them. If you don't want to do that, then you might not want to keep them as a friend, which does relate to Get Real, Get Married, which is my very first book that I wrote, which I love. And it talks about how men and women can't be friends. Sorry, it's not possible. Why? Because somebody always likes somebody. It's so true. And Sarah will put in the comments, Get Real, Get Married, which is available on Amazon. You can check it out. Tons of tips and tools and things about, Aleeza's wisdom about dating. If you haven't gotten enough from these webinars, we've got more there. Now, besides, flirting a little bit with your language, how else can you flirt? Well, I will tell you, I had one couple and they were friends, not really friends, more like acquaintances from the community, and they knew each other. And like, she liked him and he was like, I mean, okay, maybe I should go out. Maybe, I don't know. And like, we did a good job of letting him know he should totally go out with her. And he agreed to go out on a date. And I called her and I was like, what are you going to wear? And she goes, I don't know. And I was like, send me photos of your outfit. You have to look Shazam, because to transform a brain from friend to Shazam, you cannot go out looking like this. You cannot wear your finest sweater or sweatshirt or just looking all comfy, cozy like you are a friend. You have to look amazing. You have to look like you are on the best date. You are dressed to just just dress to, I don't want to use all these, you're dressed to impress. I don't want to use all these yucky phrases. Thank you, Sarah. You have to look like you're dressed to impress. Like when they walk in the room, they should be like,
oh,
right. A double take.
Essentially, you want to get them to look at you in a different way than they looked at you till now, which means you need to dress in a different way.
Exactly. Yes. So their brain has to transform from, you're just my friend, you're cool, you're okay, I know you, but I don't like you, to like, wait, oh, maybe friend, like, I'm confused, right? We want their brain to be confused. If they are confused, that means they're debating between friend or more than friend. And we really want them to be more than friend. So you need to change up your dress. So for ladies, you know, the clothing, whatever you feel the most amazing in, you know, hair, makeup, whatever you do or don't do, you do it to the best of what you do. I'm not going to tell you what to do or how to do it. You just do it to like the ultimate level of impressing people. Men, everything with the outfits, including like making sure you have 2 of the same socks. So when your pants go up a little, we don't see that they're different socks. And that your pants actually go to the ankles and they're, you know, or below the ankles and they're not above. And, you know, like pull yourself together. Make sure if you're wearing the shirts and it's a button down, make sure it's ironed or it looks neat or straight, you know, like whatever it is, step up your game. Look your best and always be having an attitude and an energy. This is going into our next tip of taking the flirting, taking the dress and moving your energy into, okay, like I'm going to be bold, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to try to transition out of this friend location. Now, let me just tell you, if you are like, Aleeza, it never works, it never this. So don't put somebody in the friend zone in the first place, or don't let them put you in the friend zone in the first place. What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't put that, what? Huh? What? Okay, this means either we're dating or we're not. There is no friendship. It doesn't exist between men and women. We cannot be friends. We can be dating or we can be not dating. Option A, dating. Option B, not dating. We don't talk to each other. We don't need each other. That's it. Because either I like you or you like me, or we both like each other and nobody tells anybody, or we both don't like each other, in which case, why do you need to waste your friendship energy there? Because you need to save all your masculine, feminine energy for the other person. And if you're spending it on a friend, you're not going to have as much in reserve for other people in the world, the person that you're really, really, really looking to attract. So I need you to think about why you are keeping friends, what value it has to your life, and what it is taking away, because it is sucking away energy and life. And it is also fulfilling a space in you, like, oh, well, I have my male friend over here. So like, if I don't have the right boyfriend or fiance or whatever, like, it's okay. Like, I still have my people and, you know, I'm fulfilled in that way. No, don't fulfill yourself in that way. Have a lacking, have a need, have a desire, let something build in you, because that building and that motivation is that attraction. It's that magnetism that starts to draw somebody to you. By the way, we have a webinar on magnetism, on being magnetic and attracting somebody. We have a webinar on flirting. We have webinars on all of these things, so you should check them out. But we need you to build that up. You cannot build up that energy of desire if you are spending it on friends in your life. It disappears. Now, I don't want you to be, yes, Sarah.
So a couple comments just came in and I would love to share them with you.
Yes, please.
So the first one, I disagree. I think you can be friends with the opposite sex under the right circumstances. So I know this has come up before. Could you just address that in one sentence?
Yeah, either they like you or you like them. And if you don't like them and you think that they don't like you, then you're in denial. One way or the other, somebody likes somebody to some degree. It is always there. It's always there. It's an underlying something. And if you don't see it or you don't feel it, then they're seeing it and they're feeling it. And if they say that they're not seeing it and feeling it, somebody's in denial. Just check out your friendships. You'll see some of them you like, or to a degree. I'm not saying you like them, but like there's a degree that you like them. And it's just rough. It's rough on the person that likes the other one and the other one isn't being liked back. So if actually you were a true friend, you wouldn't remain in a friendship where it's going to end up being painful, that person, when they become closer to you and you become further from them as you get into your life. And they don't want to hear about all your amazing dates with people that are wonderful.
And I think, yeah. No, just to reiterate what you were saying, Aleeza, I think the idea is also like, ask yourself what your goal is. If you're totally fine staying single for the next however long, and when you want to get serious about dating, go get serious about dating, like, fine. One of you likes the other one, and that's the way it is. And you can coast. You can have a good friendship and coast, but you're like hurting one of you in the process. When this is from Aleeza's perspective, when like Aleeza said, you're either filling up that male space with someone who's not gonna be a potential partner. Yeah, there was an or there, but I don't remember what the or was. And the second question that just came in is, isn't that what makes you desperate though? Like, if you haven't had food, you'll eat anything. So if you have no male friendships, doesn't that kind of like lead you to take whatever you can get? You're on mute.
Have you taken whatever you can get so far? No. So you're not going to just take whatever you can get because you don't like whatever you can get. You like what you like. So no, you might go out. You might be able to give people more the benefit of the doubt, try things you might not have tried because you would like to have that attention from the opposite sex. But no, you're not going to just take anything you can get. No, I don't buy into that. It's an interesting perspective, but it's not one that I would subscribe to. Am I missing something, Sarah? Because you have a little bit of a look.
No, I'm just thinking about it because I'm like way into intuitive eating, which is all about restriction leads to binging. So this is a really interesting perspective, and I'm trying. It's like processing. And
well, you might binge on dates, and you might go out with more people. But by me, if you're giving somebody more of a chance, if you do it too much, then we have to restrict you from it. But in general, it might lead you to being more open to people. So it's not necessarily a bad thing unless you just are so open that you just date all the wrong people and don't have enough self-confidence or energy to deal with what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Sarah's going to think on this and get back to us next week.
No, I mean, what's coming up right away. No, what's coming up right away. And Aleeza, we've spoken about this. I don't necessarily agree with you on this one, and that's totally fine. But just thinking about it from your perspective, I think the idea is, what role is that person filling, right? So if you're looking for a friend and you have girlfriends, you filled the friend role. If you're looking for guys to date, then either you have the date or you have a friend that's filling the role that you're not looking for. So I don't really think it's a like restrict binge situation, because they're two different roles, but I will think about it more. I will.
Okay, was there another question or no?
One more comment just came in, but I didn't get a chance to read it yet, so I'm going to read it out loud real quick. I don't think it's honest to float the idea of dating a friend as a joke or a mini flirt to test the waters. You need to be direct if you want to take it in a romantic direction. You might be a bit roundabout in getting the attention of him or her privately in a relaxed way, but once you have their undivided attention, you should bring it out openly. Being vulnerable is the only really honest way to not confuse them or have them stress about intentions.
So yes, and maybe. That's one approach, but it is not the only approach, and not everybody likes, appreciates, or values the direct approach. Okay, so if you know us, Sarah is the direct one, Aleeza is the indirect one. It's just my norm. That's just her norm. I personally am indirect when I interact with people, although I've learned very hard from many people very well how to be direct. Okay. And so I use being direct sometimes, but I also use being indirect. Sarah is direct. She says it like it is. She just lets you know what's going on. You don't have to guess. It's just what it is. Now, if you're somebody who's indirect like me and Sarah says it like it is, right? And it's very straightforward, I might be offended. I might be irritated. It might be so much stuff for me to hear that I can't even hear it. So being direct might be bad for her if she's talking to somebody who cannot handle direct conversation so intensely. So it's not always the right thing to be direct, because it's not always going to get you the results that you want. And my goal is to get you the results that you want. Number one. Number two, if you know that your partner likes direct communication and you say it like it is, great. Probably your friendship can endure that, but you don't just want to blurt something out or say it, right? So it's not always the right way to go for everybody. It is one way to go. It is a good way to go, but it is not the only way to go. And sometimes people They're not doing it to confuse somebody, but they're doing it to give somebody time to see how they react, right? So if I suggest something with a flirty, indirect way, I see your initial reaction, right? If you initially are like, what, whatever, right? It's a gut instinct. I just saw the real you. You didn't have to think about it. You didn't have to process it. I didn't put you on the spot where you were like deer in headlights. You just look at me and you're like, oh no, right? Like I saw the real reaction. Or if they're like, if you say something and they're like, yeah, great, we should go on a date on Saturday. Let's go. And you're like, good, 10 o'clock. And they're like, yeah, 10 o'clock. Like dress up, you better look nice. And you're like, yeah, you too, Oh, okay. Either they're playing with you because you're both jokesters and they're just, having fun, or you really just bought yourself a date and you got an answer, but you didn't risk the friendship. So an indirect way of going about it is a way to test the waters without risking the friendship, which by the way, I said you don't need the friendship. But anyway, if you want to keep it, I'm letting you keep it because you might not want to risk losing the friendship. And we know that if you are the interested party and you have that friend, the likelihood of that friend converting into a potential date is pretty good. Like it's not, 100%, but friends sometimes date friends and marry friends, and it happens. And so if you stick around them long enough and they get to know you long enough, they sometimes go like, oh yay, I like you too. So sticking around, it's like what I call the drip 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 method, where you're just there and always around them. However, I do have clients that get into these sticky situations where they're just friend zoned forever. Hey, you want to watch a movie on Tuesday night? You're like, sure, come over. All right, see you at 9. And you have popcorn and a movie and you hang out. And they're like, cool, can I come over on Wednesday? My computer broke. Can I borrow yours? You're like, yeah, sure, no problem. They're like, hey, my car broke down. Can you pick me up on the side of the road? And you're like, sure. And you're like, what's going on there? Friend zoned. You are totally not getting a date anytime between now and the future. You should be direct at that point and just say, look, I love our friendship. I think it's great. And I don't want to lose it, except I'd rather be dating you for marriage. You interested? Like just, you don't have to be that direct, but you can just go for it at that point, because that is total friend zone. And if you want something more than that, then you need to say, I want something more than that. And I think that there's potential here for that. So we have a comment there, Sarah.
Yeah. So this, Leanne, I just wrote down the same question. The question was, I'm confused. Take the drip, drip, drip approach or just cut them off. Because it seems like both of them work, right? What are
Correct.
Is there one that you advocate for over the other? Or is it, if you're already in this situation and you're not going to ditch them anyway, like what?
Yeah.
And if it's a drip, drip approach, how much time do you really give it? Or do you not give it time and it either happens or it doesn't?
It's really a good question. And it's all based on like how often you see each other and how well you know each other and how connected you are. It's very, very, it's a lot there. So cutting them off is, if you're going to cut them off anyway, then I would take the direct approach, right? If you're going to lose the friendship, then we don't care about risking the friendship. Then you're going to take the direct approach and be like, you want to go out on Saturday night? Like a date, like a real date, like a date, right? And if they say no, it's no. And then it's like, okay, great. And then you're like, yeah, you know what? I don't think we can be friends. Like I'd rather date you than be friends with you. Great. It's over anyway. Okay. If you have somebody that you're like, I don't want to lose them as a friend. I kind of want to keep them as a friend. I need this friendship right now for whatever reason, no judgment. You need this friendship. Then I would take the drip, drip, drip method to keep them as a friend, to test the waters, to see if you can warm them up before you just take the direct approach and ask them, and to see if something can come of it. If you do the drip, drip method for a little while and it's nothing shifting and you're not feeling anything and they're not either, you can just cut to the chase and be direct, or you can resign yourself to say, like, I guess we're just friends and that's it. And then you have to choose whether you're keeping that friendship and taking up that space where you have that energy, just keeping you fulfilled, or if you want to cut that relationship off so that you make new space in your life for somebody else to join you.
Can I share one more comment and then we'll let you
please
finish with
no, that's it. I was done with that part, but I want to.
Awesome. So Paula says, if you live in the type of community that's open with male-female interaction, pre-pandemic, obviously, you'll likely find yourself socializing, being friendly with men, women at shul, Shabbat dinners, etc., whether or not you have intentional friendships with the opposite sex. So would it be fair to say that there's like a really big difference between friendlies and friends? And so I think what you're describing is friendlies. Those are the
friendly
people.
and acquaintance. That's like acquaintance, like circumstantial. We're at a meal together, so we're friendly and we schmooze, but it's not like you call me and say, oh, I'm out, you want me to grab you something at the store. It's not a friendship. It's an acquaintance situation. Totally.
Yeah. All right. So are we on to more questions? Awesome.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready for Q&A.
Okay. I like this one. Wait, I just have to say,
you have to know Sarah.
I like
Every time she reads questions, she's like, oh, this is a good one. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, they're all good.
They're all good, but some are gooder. Okay. But before I get to the question, what you said just reminded me of when my husband and I were dating. Well, we weren't dating. We were friends. And he told me, like, pretty much in the first week or two that we met, he was like, I want to be best friends with you forever. And at that point we were just dating, but then, I mean, we were just friends, but like once we started dating and he said it again, he was like, well, even if this doesn't work out, I want to stay best friends forever. And I just looked at him and I was like, not happy. Like, that's not going to work. Either you're going to get engaged to me or we're going to never see each other again. And I think I straight up said that to him because, like, personally, I don't have an issue with guy friends, but not to someone that I want to get engaged to and marry. So that was not enough.
Bold way to go. That was bold. That was straightforward. And that was totally the right move. And in his mind, he needs to know, oh, okay, so since I can't have her as a friend, I really have to either marry her or not. And like it shifted his mind to like, I don't want to lose her as a friend. Wow, I guess I don't want to lose her as a life partner either, right? Yeah. So well done. Pat on your back.
Whatever. I had a great dating coach. I can send you her number. Why did we start off as friends and not as dating partners? I was on a dating break. And every single person I told that to was like, oh, I met my husband while I was on a break. Oh, I met my husband and I was like literally as soon as I decided to take a break, so many people made suggestions and started reaching out to me. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm fine if that's what ends up happening. And then, yeah, so that's how that happened. Okay. So
and she knew my rule about men and women can't be friends. And she's like, but I'm really not dating, so it just doesn't even matter. And I was like, it matters. Because men and women can't be friends.
Yeah.
Thanks for proving me right.
Yeah. All right. So what about friends with benefits? Clearly there is attraction and there's friendship. So what gives in that kind of situation? Like, why does it stay just friends with benefits?
Yeah, so it's because one side, and if it's not you, it's the other side. It could be non-committal, which somebody said, but it could also be that they like you, but not enough to marry you, which means I might like the way you look. I might like who you are on the inside, but you are not qualified enough to be my person because of this, whatever this thing is. I'm not going to marry you. I don't value that quality or that trait. I value you as a friend. Don't mind to have fun with you as a friend, but I'm not willing to commit to you for a lifetime. So friends with benefits almost always, not always, there's always exceptions, but it almost always does not lead to a relationship, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, sad.
So something else that popped into my mind earlier, can I share one more anecdote?
Sarah, come on.
Thank you so much. So it's funny because I never thought of this specifically as friend zone, but since we're talking about it, I think it's important to mention it because I've definitely been friend zoned and I friend zoned. And usually in those cases, it was like, yeah, one person was interested and the other one wasn't really. But I do remember one situation where it was my friend's brother. And we spent a lot of time together, like at Shabbos, like we were always both at her house. And it got to the point where people were always asking us why we didn't date. Cause we had like we had a really comfortable like interaction, chemistry, I guess, whatever. And we always looked at each other and he started it. He was like, no, that's weird. She's like my sister. And so I'd be like, no, that's weird. He's like my brother, right? Just assuming because like he said that, so whatever. And I remember got to a point one day we were and we were friends and we hung out and we used to talk a lot. And it got to the point where one time we were talking about dates and he was like, well, what about me? And I was like, you? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, what happened to she's my sister? And he's like, okay, come on. We both know that's not true. And I was like, I was also thinking that, but how long were you thinking this? And he's like, a while. And I was like, this is how dumb all of that stuff is. Like, if you are interested in someone, this is me being like, be straightforward, or at least be indirect, but be something, because there's a good chance that they're as interested as you are.
Okay, so wait, that proves my point that people accidentally friend zone somebody as not to like say something to lead them on, which is why I'd rather you do the opposite. If you're interested, dip your pinky toe in the water. Like, don't say, oh, she's like my sister. When somebody says, you know, like, why aren't you dating her? And you can be like, I don't know, I didn't ask her out yet, you know? Like, say something other than sticking your foot in your mouth and saying the opposite of what you're really feeling. That's the reason to do the, you know, playful, the try it out, the everything, because wait. So now I have to know, Sarah, I'm sorry. Did you actually go out or did you not go out?
We knew we weren't, well, this is probably why we initially didn't go out, but we knew that long-term we weren't gonna like get married. So we didn't end up dating.
It wasn't going to be compatible.
Okay. Yeah. But then I met my husband and he's like nothing like I would. They're actually pretty similar. So I don't know. I guess anything could have happened.
So he missed the moment, but he wasn't your bashert, but he could have been a very close second.
Yeah.
So, right. Okay. So super important if you really like them. So don't accidentally friend zone somebody. I'd rather you do the opposite and like accidentally flirt, and just, that's why I do like the joking or the humor or the throw something light in there when somebody's like, oh, like maybe you guys should date, or why haven't you dated yet? You can be like, no, actually we haven't dated, have we? No. I don't know. You want to go out on Tuesday? You know, like, be funny with it. And you can be like, oh, ha, 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 right? You can have a moment that could actually lead to a date, and you could have been married to him, but you're not. Right. And you have your husband.
Right. And I don't want to dance around this, because I think it's important to address that none of us wants to be vulnerable. And yes, it would have been awkward, right? Like, if one of us would have said something that requires vulnerability, and it was like, we're both super close to my friend, and we would have spent more Shabbos meals together, and it would have been awkward. But I know me and I know him, and we both would have been fine after one awkward conversation.
And even if you wouldn't have been fine, my point is,
we would have coordinated not to be there at the same time.
Yes, and it's worth it to risk it. Why? Because you're risking to meet your soulmate. If that's your potential soulmate, I'd rather you risk awkwardness or not going there for Shabbos or skipping a week. Because if that is your soulmate, who wants to miss that? And if it's not, so fine, it'll be awkward and weird, and it is what it is. But that's also why I go with the indirect approach and a little ha-ha joke to see if, like, you played along when he said, oh, it's like my sister. And then you're like, oh, it's like my brother. But what if he was like, oh yeah, well, we could date maybe. And you're like, oh yeah, we could date maybe. Right. It would have taken you in the other direction, which is why my point is you should lean into it in the direction that you're interested, as opposed to not.
I agree with that. And someone else comments, I agree. Early on to my comment before about what happened with me and Shia, early on in my last dating relationship, we both clarified that we don't want to be friends if it doesn't work out. That forces both parties to put their energies into the potential relationship and not just dance around it. If it's in the gray zone, one or both parties may not focus on the dating and or may not be exclusive. And that's a really good point.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. And someone else added, I think this is in regards to friends with benefits, that the pursuit factor is missing.
Yeah, which is definitely true. Definitely. Yeah. Has to be a little bit of a chase, not just easy.
I'm not sure if this is a question or a comment, so I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to give you a question, and then I'm going to read that again. Questions. This is not even the first one up, but next one up. Okay, so I think you addressed this, but let's just make it super clear. Being friends with someone first could potentially make you want to date them. So how do we?
True. Yeah, it's true. How do we address that?
I'm just going to say there was zero chance in heck that I would have ever considered dating my husband.
It's true. So, Okay, so it goes like this. And thank you for the clarification, because this is super nuanced. If somebody would never consider dating you, but they will consider being friends with you, and you're willing to go along for the ride, not for the purpose of being friends with them, but for the purpose of trying to get them to date you, then there might be purpose in building a friendship for the purpose of trying to build a relationship. But you should just know that they think you're going to be a friend and you're not interested in a friendship. So you can't just fool yourself later on and be like, oh, but I was only in this for that. And I was trying to get you, like, just, you're playing a game. It's called the dating game. Welcome to the dating game. You're on the dating show. And your potential partner might just be your friend because they're not interested in you yet and something has to shift. So there would be reason to actually build a friendship if you want to try to build a relationship, but it's sticky ground and territory, and it's just tread lightly because you might get your heart broken. But it is a good technique, and it's definitely one that I would subscribe to, even though I say that men and women can't be friends and you shouldn't be friends. You shouldn't be friends, but unless you're pursuing them, and that's the only way of getting them to maybe develop the relationship, to start with the friendship, then start with the friendship.
Got it. How can you tell if the relationship you're in is heading for a friendship instead of a marriage?
So you're not in a relationship, you're in a friendship? How can you tell if the relationship that you're in is heading for a friendship? If you're in a relationship, you're not in a friendship. I mean, you are friends, but you're not friends.
I'm going to just interpret the question, but you meet to date. Never mind. The question isn't there. I was going to say you meet to date and you are heading towards this is not going to work out for marriage. And so I guess this is where Aleeza says, well, if it's not going to work out, then say goodbye and move on. Right?
Right. Because then you're just transitioning into friends with benefits, which we're not looking for.
Okay. Here's a question. Why do women say they want to be friends with you if they don't want to go out with you? Are they afraid of telling you the truth?
Yep. Nope. That was good, Sarah.
You go first.
If they're saying that they want to be friends with you, but they don't want to date you, read it again so I get the answer right, because I answer questions.
Why do women say they want to be friends with you if they don't want to go out with you? So let's say male asks female out. She says she wants to be friends. Is she afraid of telling the truth?
Well, is she afraid? She might be afraid to say, well, she should just say, I don't want to date you, but I don't mind to be your friend. Right? So she's just saying, I just want to be friends. She's avoiding saying anything. You just asked her out. She needs to respond to that. If she's not responding to that, she's avoiding the question and saying, I just want to be friends. It didn't answer my question. Great, we could be friends and I'll date you also, right? But she's avoiding that, because she probably doesn't want to tell you, I don't like the way you look, or your values aren't in line with mine, or there's something about you that I don't like, or your personality, or your background, or your something's not working for me. And she probably doesn't want to talk about that. So it's like, hey, let's just be friends. Or she could be secretly crushing on somebody else. She doesn't want to tell you she's crushing on somebody else. She could be pursuing somebody else.
It might be.
She could be doing.
I was gonna be like, it might be your brother or your friend. No, I'm just kidding, or not. But here's the thing. I don't think she's not telling the truth, right? Like maybe she's avoiding what Aleeza's saying. Like she doesn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. But I also think if she's someone who does subscribe to like a guy friend lifestyle, she between the two of you, you're the one who wants to date her. She doesn't want to date you, but that doesn't mean she doesn't want to be friends. She really could like you as a friend and not like you and not be attracted to you. She's not lying to you. She's not afraid of telling you the truth. She's telling you straight up, I want to be friends. I don't want to date you.
But she might not really want to be friends. She might just not want to go out with you and not want to say, I don't want to go out with you. And then she might not want to be friends. She might want to have nothing to do with you. And she might just be like, let's be friends because at least I can just not have to ditch you.
Most girls aren't like that.
A lot of people are conflict avoidant. Don't you know somebody like that? She exists. Don't you know conflict avoidant people?
I don't know. I guess I just speak for myself and all of my friends. But like, if I wasn't interested in someone, I'd make up some other reason or not make up a reason and tell them the truth. But even if someone was avoiding the truth, they would come up with a different excuse and not say, I want to. I don't know. Women don't usually say they want to be friends when they don't want to be friends. Women in the chat, help me out. Would you tell a guy, let's just be friends if you didn't want to date them and you didn't want to be friends?
Okay, well, we shall see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is where the direct and indirect thing comes in. I'm going to look at the answers in a minute. In the meantime, give me a second. I turn people into friends. So meaning I friend zone people when they fail to communicate properly. This is a woman asking the question, and she asks, is that the reason that men use as well? Like, meaning, is that...
I think there's a lot of reasons. But also, why would you want to have a friend that doesn't communicate properly? I wouldn't want a friend who doesn't communicate properly either. Forget about a date, but I wouldn't want a friend that can't communicate properly.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm just looking at the comments. Ooh, so much going on here. Agree, don't, no, this is from the last one. I have one female friend and she's grandfathered. Whatever female friends I had in the past, I dumped them. I don't need any more female friends. The end. Aleeza, that person gets a medal. Okay, so someone says no, but ladies have told me that they do that. So, okay, someone else says no, I wouldn't. I think the definition of friends is loose these days. I have 1,000 friends on Facebook and I probably only ever talk to 5 of them on the phone. So that's also a good point. I had a guy friend that asked me if I'd consider him more than a friend. And I said, I think we're better off remaining friends. So
why not just go out? But so that, well, fine. But she didn't answer him. She said, no, we're better remaining friends, but she didn't say why I won't consider you. She still wasn't direct about that.
He didn't ask why. He said, he asked if she'd consider him and she said no. And she says, I wasn't attracted to him, but I wouldn't tell him that.
Right.
And someone else says indirect keeps the door open for any gender. And apparently in Israel, they say, I got lots of friends in Africa. I don't need any more. I friend zone everyone and I'm very honest.
You have to ask your husband about that phrase, Sarah.
Yeah, I will.
Is that a phrase?
I don't know. I'll ask him. Someone says I friend zone everyone and I'm very honest about that. Not really sure what that means. Does anyone ever really say why they don't want to date someone, whether they start out as friends or they're dating and then say no? I think it depends how far along in the relationship you are. I think if you've dated a while, you give the real reason. And if you haven't, like, sometimes yeah, sometimes no.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I'd agree with you.
There is one comment here that I want to address. Please carefully define the difference between friendship and relationship in the COVID era, especially long distance dating when it is difficult to maintain dating momentum due to travel restrictions.
Friendship and relationship is different. Friendship is we are friends. Relationship is we are dating with a purpose, and the purpose is of seeing if this is my partner for life. So if you're friendly with somebody or friends with somebody, then you're not dating them. You should be very clear if you're dating or not dating. And if you're not sure if you're dating, like Sarah, they were friends and she wasn't sure that they were dating. And I tried to tell her that they were really dating. And she was like, but we're not really dating. And I was like, but you're going to get married. And she's like, but we're not even dating. And I was like, but I know. Okay. So if you start out in one of those relationships, it could be you're confused. But normally when you start, you're either friends or you're dating. And then you continue either being friends or dating. So if you're confused, is it a friendship that progressed? Is it a relationship that like went a little chill? COVID shouldn't impact friendship/relationship status unless you're saying, hey, we're never going to see each other because of COVID and I can't fly and neither can you. So let's stay friends instead of dating. And I'd rather you not do that. I'd rather you say, let's put dating on hold. Let's put dating on pause. Let's resume when one of us can get to the other one. And that's the way I would go about dating.
Thank you. At what point do you give up on the lack of chemistry and officially friend zone someone? I know Aleeza's answer. You don't. You end the relationship.
Yeah. So basically you when in doubt, go out and date them till you hate them. If you no longer can stand it and you're like, it's not growing. I'm never going to like them. It's not going to work. Yeah. Then we end the relationship and move on. And other than that, if you're not sure, you're not sure. Keep going out until you're sure. Let them wow you and put on their finest and really, take you out and do something lovely.
So you don't go from no chemistry to friend zone. You go from no chemistry to either building chemistry or ending the relationship. And we have like a couple webinars on chemistry. The question was specifically how long, so that is addressed in previous webinars on chemistry, so check those out. And someone else says, when you aren't looking forward to hearing from him or her is when that happens.
Yeah, but when you aren't looking forward to hearing him or her, it's a little complex. Like, why aren't you looking forward? Are you anxious? Are you uncomfortable? Is something bothering you? Are you busy? Do you have too many things going on? There's like a lot of other reasons behind that. So that's not just a straightforward answer to me. It's a little more complex.
All right. Okay, this isn't super directly on topic, but I like it and I know you're gonna like it, so I'm gonna ask it anyway. How to handle approaching a woman I went out with for a while, but we ended it on good terms. There's still some attraction left.
Yeah, so I don't know why you ended it, but if there's still something there, we should explore it, because that would be called a mystery in your history, which is our favorite. You can find out more about Mystery in Your History in Virtual Dating, which is on Amazon. It is my most recent book, released in September, with the good grace of God and a bazillion hours of help from Sarah, and just translating my brain to the page. So we love Mystery in Your History. Mystery in Your History is like, ooh, there's somebody back there that maybe, should we go out? We did go out. We were friends. We're not friends. Maybe you were my neighbor. There's something there, right? And we try to develop something. So you can go back to them and say, I think there's something more here. I'd love to take you out again, or I'd love to go out again. Or if you're the girl and you're super shy to do that, then we have to craft a very interesting way of introducing the idea that we should go out again, or have somebody else introduce the idea and try it again. But it shouldn't be dropped. If it's something that's on your head and your heart, we should think about it and pursue it.
Awesome. So this comment just came in and I want to address it because it's in the chat box. It's not so common in Orthodox circles, but there is dating, even if it's not for marriage, for your forever person. There's dating for romantic companionship for now and see where it leads, which is what Aleeza calls your Mr. right now, or Mrs. right now. But we assume that everyone here is marriage minded. Hence, I'm blanking on what your business name is. Marriage minded mentor.
No.
Okay, that was a scary moment.
You're a goofball. I love you.
So we are in this space marriage minded, and so all the responses to the questions that are coming in are going to be framed from that perspective. So just to clarify that. Yes, Aleeza, you look like you had something to say.
No, I'm just laughing at you. I love you.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Love you too. Currently hanging out in the friend zone. How do I say no and keep things moving? So I'm not sure if you want to say, no, I don't want to be in the friend zone. I want to continue dating you. Or if I just want to say, no, I don't want a friendship. I want to move on and actually look for my person. So Aleeza, answer both of those, please.
Just say it. Just say it. You're in some sort of zone, friend or relationship zone. You either want to be in it or out of it, and you want clarity, but here's the problem. Okay. To my Sarah and all my dear direct friends who are just like so direct, and you just like say it like it is. Okay. It's abrasive. And when you say it like it is, and you're like, so I just need an answer, like if it's going to work or if it's not going to work, because I think there's potential, but I don't know if you think there's potential. So maybe we should try doing this. Right. And if you like, if I'm not ready to answer that, it doesn't give me any wiggle room. It doesn't give me any space to work with this. So what I really need you to do is to actually make a conversation, like give some back and forth, make it a little bit fluid, not just like, give me an answer. Is it a yes or a no? Like, I can't handle that.
So I actually have a question for you, Aleeza, because this is something that I do a lot, and I'm curious how it would fit into this topic. I'm pretty direct. But if there's a situation where I know I don't want to put the other person on the spot, or I don't want them to feel defensive, or I want them to think about the response before they talk to me, I'm all about face-to-face conversation. I also do much better in writing. I communicate my thoughts much better in writing. So I will often send a nice, really long text message and say at the end, I'm happy to have a face-to-face conversation, but I didn't want to put you on the spot. So I'd love for you to think this over and let's talk whenever you're ready. Is that something that would be appropriate in this kind of situation?
Yeah, yes and no. When you do that, you run the risk of them writing back to you a message also because you wrote to them, so they write back to you.
Right.
And they could just be like, oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, not really. Okay, cool, bye. Like they could write 3 things and you're like, I just poured my heart out to you. I just told you everything. And like, what is this cockamamie answer? And now it doesn't even leave room because you're like, oh, if you want to have a conversation, I'm available. No. I wanted to give you this information. I'd love to talk to you more on Tuesday about this. Like, this is not going to, but you started it by text or email. They might end it by text or email. And then you won't get the full thing. So what you could do instead is approach them and say something and say, look, I also like wrote everything down because I don't know that I remembered everything that I wanted to say to you. And I don't want to end the conversation here. I'm going to also send you this message that I wrote. And I don't want an answer right now. I don't need an answer. Like, I've been thinking about this. It's been on my mind. It took me all this time to compose my thoughts. Now, why don't you think about this? And like, we'll talk about it and we'll meet up in a couple days. But like pick a day. How's this day and time so we can continue the conversation? Aha. So that leaves an opening and that leaves room for us to continue a conversation rather than them taking control of the conversation. And like, you started it by text. I ended it by text. Thank you. We're done. And you're like, I wanted more of a shot. I thought I poured my heart out for you. For what?
That reminds me, we're doing a lot of me tonight, but that actually, no, I'm just going to prove your point. That reminds me of the time.
Oh, thank you.
remember exactly a year ago when I went to Israel in December and I was just like, Aleeza, I need a break from this dating. Like, let's take a break, or should I just break up with him? And I wanted to say, like, I need more from you or we're going to break up, like something like that. And I think, and I don't remember if you told me or I told you, but I was like, there's one problem with this. No, I think I told you, I was like, there's one problem with this. He's going to take that, whether I say it or I send it to him in a message, and he's going to be like, okay, if that's what you want. Cause he's such he's a feeling person. And he's like, well, if you feel like you need space or you feel like you're not getting what you want.
It for like, you have to do what you need.
Yeah.
Right. And then you ruined your own relationship. You like sunk it for no reason.
Right.
I know. I love saving people from sinking their own ship. Like, don't sink your own ship.
No, that was me. That was all me. I was on the phone with you.
Okay, good.
I had that realization.
I just listened.
And I didn't message him. And then after we were engaged, I told him that conversation. I was like, remember when I went to Israel, I was totally like going to take a break or break up or whatever. Not break up, but like at least take a break. And I was like, no, I can't do that because you're just going to be like, okay, if that's what you want. And he's like, yeah, I totally would have done that. That's just his personality. And it's not that he didn't want the relationship. He just genuinely wants what's best for, the next person. And okay. Basically know who you're dealing with is the bottom line.
Yeah. And also know that if you put it out there that maybe we'll take a break, they might jump on board. Whatever train you are riding, they're going to maybe jump on board. So don't get on a train that you don't want to be riding. Don't go on the breakup train when you really want the marriage train.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We got time for a couple more questions. Let's see if there's anything that we didn't already answer. I think we did most of these. We talked about how to get out of the friend zone. Yeah, Aleeza, we addressed them all. Oh wait, and no new ones came in.
Okay, phenomenal. So do we have Jessica on the is she here? Do we know?
I think Jessica's here. Do you want to first tell people how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, let's do that. So hang on. You can't see me, can you? Oh, there I'm back. We're hanging. All right, Jess, hang on. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming on because we are almost up to or close.
No problem. Anytime. Happy to be here.
I love you, Sarah. But we are close to our 30th webinar or somewhere around there. And this has been like a wild ride. Maybe we'll end the year at 30. Will we hit 30 by next week? We'll let you know. We're going to be back next week on Wednesday night instead of Thursday. And if you can believe it or not, we are 9 weeks away from Aliyah. That is right. We are moving to Israel in 9 weeks. And people are like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I was like, our webinars are going to change days and times, but we will not leave you. We love you. We're just going to move to a more convenient time for Israel. So
you can't
yeah.
boot me off this. No, it's not gonna work.
Well, can you work on Sundays? Because we're gonna have to move to Sunday hours because nobody wants. I can't be up at 2:00 in the morning for this, or 3:00 or 4:00
Can
in the
you just
morning.
tell Aleeza how important it is that I'm on this webinar? It is so much more fun with me on here. Put your answer
I love
in the
Sarah.
chat box.
Listen, I'm game, but you got to be available on Sundays, and you're not available on Sundays, are you? Are you? Are you? Put her on the spot.
Well, let's
Are
put
you?
it this way. If my husband starts working on Sunday, and there's a really good chance he will, then I will be.
Okay, everybody pray that Sarah's husband gets a job and he works on Sundays. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I love you, but not that much.
So,
okay, go.
No, we'll figure it out, but we are going to have webinars. They will change days and times, but Marriage Minded Mentor and our entire team is going to continue to be here to support you. I'm going to make Aliyah with my family in the meantime, and my little doggy too. And we are going to probably quarantine and do all the crazy cockamamie things that are going on, because there's like a third lockdown in Israel and all sorts of stuff, but we're joining it. We are just
Can you get in? Will they let you in?
But you might have to go to a quarantine hotel and not to the house that we arranged. Anyway, I want to tell you that Marriage Minded Mentor is here to support you. I have trained a team of coaches. We have specialty coaches on our team. They all do something a little bit different. So if you're a woman in your 20s and 30s and you're looking for the right coach, and you're like, which coach should I choose? Try Reagan. She's phenomenal. I just sent somebody to her and she's like, oh, she's great. Such a great fit for me. Her specialty is women, 20s and 30s. That is really what she does best. If you're like, oh, Aleeza, can you give me like a personality analysis? Yes, we can do a Jewish Torah-based personality analysis. And Leah does that. Leah is a cousin of mine. She was the very first coach that came on. She lives in Israel and she just had a baby over a month ago. And so she's just getting back to work. So if you want a session with Leah, just email me at coach@marriagemindedmentor.com or email her at leah@marriagemindedmentor.com, and she will get you set up, because her schedule online is not updated yet. If you are looking for a male coach, you're like, I want to work with a man, I don't want to work with a woman, it doesn't work for me, you should talk to Michael. He's phenomenal. He works with men and women, all ages, all stages, all backgrounds. And speaking of that, Shira also works with men and women of all ages, all stages, and all backgrounds. And she's outstanding. If you need help with a relationship you're in, or redoing your profile, writing it over and pulling it together, she's wonderful with all of those things and anything dating and relationship related. And we also have Alana Brown, who is a phenomenal coach. She also has a background in therapy. She's also been a shadchan for many years. She's been in this field. And if you guys saw the OU Jewish Action magazine this month, I don't even think I have it here. Did you see it this month? Did you see it? Alana Brown is in it, and so am I. And we're right there in an article with top matchmakers. We have Mark from Saw You at Sinai, Mark Goldman, the CEO, with Lisa Elephant, who's from Adopt a Shadchan, and Malky, also from the YU Connects team. God bless you, Sarah. And so if you are excited about working with a professional coach who has shadchan experience and therapy experience and really gets the process for many years, Alana is your go-to for that. She is outstanding. I personally have a very limited schedule, but I work with clients who are looking to work together for 3 months, who are willing to put in time and effort and finances behind working together and building a long-term relationship, of having the coaching and the support that they need. So if you want something like that, go online. In fact, just go online right now. There's a button and it says, click your free appointment here. It's to get to know us, interview us, see if you like us, if you want to work with our team, and if you want to be a part of the Marriage Minded Mentor family, because we just notice that people hanging around us, they just tend to get married. They're marriage minded, they hang out with marriage minded people, and like we just manifest relationships because we live, eat, breathe, and sleep relationships. So we would absolutely love it if you would be a part of our team. Be a part of our family and contact somebody on our team.
We are looking for someone for the team, if you want to put it out there.
No, guess what? We just hired an intern.
We're not looking for someone for the team. That was fast.
I just had an interview today and she's phenomenal.
Nice.
And we are bringing her on, and Sarah, I'll update you and tell you all about her. So we just filled a position.
Things happen so fast around here.
It's so amazing. We're so excited. So yeah, I was gonna update you after the webinar. Anyway, finally, I did release this book. It's called Virtual Dating. Sarah's gonna tell you where to find it on Amazon. It's literally called Virtual Dating by Aleeza Ben Shalom. So you can find it on Amazon. It gives you all the tips and the tools and the resources. It talks about mystery and your history. It talks about everything that you need to know to be successful in a virtual world with virtual dating, which, by the way, secret, it's not. It's not. There's a first wave, a second wave, a third wave, a 10th wave. It's just happening. Get over it. Date anyway. And if you don't know how, check out virtual dating, because we're here to help, because we put our hearts and souls into this. We love you so, so, so much. We very much want you to find somebody. We pray for you. We say blessings for you. And we always are looking to bring somebody into your life that is wonderful and amazing for you. And don't think that means perfect. It just means perfect for you, not perfect all the time. And with that, I want to bring on Jessica Fast from Fast Path to Love, who is our sponsor for tonight, because we absolutely love her. So give me 1 minute to pull her up and pop her on, promote to panelist. And here she comes. Ooh. Do I have to allow her, let's say, ask to unmute? Oh, are you on? Can we see you?
You just muted her because she already unmuted.
Oh. Bummer. Hold on. Ask to unmute. Try again. Did it work?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay! Hi, Jess. Welcome.
Hi, ladies. Great webinar as
Okay.
usual. Really happy to join you.
Thank you. So this is Jessica Fast. She, I told you, is an international dating matchmaking sensation. She and I have actually been partnering on doing singles events, which, by the way, I didn't mention any of this to anyone just yet. And I'll let Jessica tell you about our exciting thing that's coming up. But you should know, Marriage Minded Mentor is now running virtual events online for you. We are no
Because
longer
you
stuck
kept
in
asking
Brooklyn.
for them.
Yeah, and it's because all of you asked them. You're like, are you doing events? Can you do events? Are you going to introduce us? Not just do webinars. Can you do events? And we're like, yes, we're going to do them. So guess what? We are hosting events. So we host events with Jessica, with JIC, with Kesher, with Lori Young, the Seattle Shadchan. We are hosting events with tons of people, and you're going to see emails coming that's like webinar and events, webinar and events. So we're so excited. Jessica, tell us about you. Tell us about our New Year's event, and take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Aleeza. So excited that Aleeza and I are collaborating on a huge event for New Year's Eve with the Kesher Institute and with JIC, which is the Jewish International Connection. So it's an international Jewish singles rockin' New Year's Eve party. We took the name a little bit from the classic Dick Clark rockin' New Year's Eve. So join us instead of Ryan Seacrest this year. It'll be much more fun because we can all interact live, and we're going to do interactive improv games. And if you're not an improver, don't worry. You're still going to have a ton of fun. You can watch, or I've been told our improv leader can even get the quietest person out of their shell. But it's going to be great because it's going to be that you get to see each other in a fun, interactive way. And it's not just like all the pressure of just tell me about yourself and who you're looking for. We'll still have events like that in the new year, but this is going to be a little bit more fun. Take the edge off, bring a drink with you. If you've never improv before, you might be braver on Zoom where you don't have to move your whole body, just the top half. And we're also going to do breakout rooms with like games and different themed rooms afterwards. Hopefully we'll all sing a song together and just have a little bit of music. And and then there will be a mixologist also. This Israeli mixologist made some special videos just for us. So special content.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
this is a real BYOB, because you always have
Yes.
those people who count on everyone else to bring the alcohol. This time it's like, no, you gotta bring your own or you won't have it.
You're right, Sarah. That's exactly. It's a real BYOB. I just realized the link's not there. So there's the link to the landing page, nyeparty.kesher.info. So it's going to be great. We're partnering with organizations, as many as we can all over the world. So you guys, Aleeza and I are working night and day, reaching out to organizations Philippines, Europe, Israel, so that we have tons of partners, because this is an event where you can stay up all night in any time zone. So Israel hopefully will join us even though it's 3 a.m. and London and Europe will join us even though it's 1 a.m. They'll just have had New Year's. So it's like really special. And because it's a holiday and everyone can sleep in the next day, this is really spectacular that we can really see how many people can all be there together. And we hope to start lots of virtual dating relationships from it. And you can get coached by Aleeza if you need help making that relationship last over time, if you can't physically travel to meet each other yet. And then also, if you need follow up after, you're interested in my private services to help you maybe get to know someone there, or you just get the international bug after being on there. And it's like, I want a chance to be matched with people internationally. So you can talk to me about my services. Everyone that attends the event will get a discount from me to at least have a strategy session with me. And we're really excited. And you know what? It's funny this was about Friendzone, because what I tell people at the end of all of my events is like, if anybody writes to you after this event that you don't think you were interested in romantically, like start as a friend. Don't have it be a hard no. Be like open, have a few like friendship Zooms and see, if something is starting to develop. So it's really important that you talk to someone like Aleeza or a coach on her team if you've had like a few Zooms and you're like, I can't tell if this is, just friendship or could be more. Especially it's hard because we can't be in person. It's really hard to like make that judgment on your own. So go to a professional, get mentoring now more than ever, because the world has changed and like we need help, to navigate this. There was no rule book for this, but Aleeza started to make one for us with her book, Virtual Dating. So she was the first one out with it, I think. So come to the event. Keep coming to these webinars when Aleeza moves to Israel. I'll be here Sundays when I can too. Very excited for her. Excited for all the new clients I'm getting in the new year. I have a team of 6 also. I cannot do it alone. We're working with people in all time zones, men and women, secular to modern Orthodox, doing makeovers on people. And Aleeza makes over their soul. And then you also get like, you can get, actually, if you're a woman, like a makeup makeover and professional photos. And men, sometimes you need a
by the way,
haircut.
I love that. I'm the soul makeover.
You are. You're the soul makeover. And men with
Good
their
one.
Jew froze need to get haircuts. So I can help you find maybe safe, socially distanced people who are still working at these times. So I do that research for you, depending on what city you're in. Yeah, so Aleeza's hosting breakout rooms at the event. I am. It's going to be super fun. Hope to see you all there. It's really going to be a special night. And there's not a replay of that one. You got to make it live.
Isn't working.
Oh, it's not?
Nope.
Let me try clicking it too. That's the main link. Oh, it just worked for me. Let me try this one. Hang on.
I tried it in Chrome and Safari and it didn't go.
Weird. Can you try that? I can also put our affiliate link there too.
I mean, if you want to say the link out loud. Sarah, do you want to say the link out loud just so we know which one works for anybody who's not going to see the text?
Kesher.ticketspice.com/New Year NYE for New Year's Eve. That one works. So the second link that Jess just put, and this link will go out in an email, in an upcoming email anyway.
Yeah. There's one good comment based on what someone wrote. Yes, this event is for 20s, 30s, 40s. In the new year, Aleeza will have programming for older singles. I'll have programming. There will be stuff for you guys.
We've been, just so you know, we've been doing programming for all different ages. So I had a speed dating event for Shomer Shabbos singles that was 35 to 53. We have a different speed dating event that's coming up actually after New Year's on the 2nd with Lori Young. And that is from 28 to 43, something like that. That's on our events page right now. You can go to marriagemindedmentor.com/events. And that's where we put all of our events and all of our updates. So if these are things that you're interested in, we cater to all ages and all stages and all backgrounds, secular, religious, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It doesn't matter what age or what stage you are. We're always trying to create programming. So if you see something, you're like, oh, but Aleeza, it's not for me. Send it to your friend and then keep an eye out, because we are having everybody in mind and we are making events. And like we said, in the new year, we are going to have some other speed dating programs that we're going to break it up into like an Orthodox group and a non-Orthodox group. And it's also going to be for all stages and all ages. So just stay tuned. You guys asked for events. You've been begging me for speed dating. You've been telling me, stop just doing webinars, do something more. And I broke down and I listened because enough of you said it enough times. And because we've had 30 webinars and you guys keep commenting. And so we're doing it. So my request is when you see an event that's appropriate for you and interesting to you, just sign up because we'd love to have you. And some of them are free and some of them there's a small fee and some of them there's a medium fee. It depends on what we're able to do and how much we can bring to you. Great.
Depends on the scope of the event, the fee.
Yeah.
Like the New Year's one, we're having
True.
the improv guy, the mixology. It's a big one. So hope to see you. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Okay, great. Everybody have an awesome rest of your week and just do what you got to do to get over your hurdles and under the chuppah. All I want is that like coach@marriagemoneymentor.com. Hey, Aleeza, I followed your advice and I got engaged. I love those emails. They make me so happy. Or like, I read your book and I didn't even call you for coaching. I just read your book and I got engaged. And I'm like, yay, it's such a win. Makes me feel really good. Or even just the emails that are like, thanks so much. You gave me the chizuk and the support and the encouragement that I needed to get through this time. And like, I'm still dating, but don't worry, I've got my hopes up and I'm really trying to make something happen. That makes me so happy. So happy.
Aleeza,
So, yes.
I just want to end off with this. Aleeza, working with you got me married.
Another one wasted us. Good job, Sarah.
Best walking advertisement. Your co-host.
Literally.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming and we will see you another time. All the best.
Right.
Bye. Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.